What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone's having a great day. Today I wanted to make a very important video, and that is how to stop a panic slash anxiety attack when it is beginning to start. So if you're watching this, you probably obviously know what a panic attack and anxiety attack feels like, but if you don't, just a quick little background. I've been dealing with them for going on 7 years at least. They started when I was about 18, and then they got progressively worse over the years. And I can say honestly right now, I've gotten pretty good at learning how to deal with them and stop them. Used to, they would last for what feels like forever, but they'd last probably a minute to 5 minutes. Now I can control them and get them down to where I can't even tell you the last time I had a real bad one, but it was probably 10 seconds at most. But anyway, so the way mine feel is, obviously rapid heart rate, overwhelming, excessive thoughts. But the most important, not the most important, but the most difficult effect that I have is feeling like I can't breathe. That's the biggest issue that I have, and probably most of you have. You feel, obviously, you feel like you're gonna die, but you're not. Anyways, so over the years of my experience with no help from, like I tell these people, psychiatrists, doctors, they can read up on it, they can tell you about it, but they have no idea what it truly feels like. So they can give you recommendations off of a book that they've read, but unless you really have been through it and know what it feels like, it's really doing you no good. So anyways, I've been dealing with it for a long time. I'm pretty experienced in it, unfortunately, but that's life. It throws some hard things at us. But let's get into the video. Enough with my chitter chatter. So tip number one is nose breathing. So when the panic starts to onset and you feel like you can't breathe, the biggest thing that shoots right up right away is heart rate. And that's just caused by the adrenaline that your body produces as you go into that fight or flight mode. And for us, unfortunately, it's flight. We want to run away, get out of that room as quick as possible, but the more you learn how to fight that and stay and stick through it, the more you'll train your brain, and I'll get into that more later on in the video. But tips that you can do currently when that starts to onset is there's a technique, breathing through the nose through each nostril. I know some high-level guys, there's some high-level military special forces people that do this when they're about to go into intense high stress environments, and that is breathe 4 seconds through one nose, cover up one nostril, and then breathe out through the mouth, breathe through the other, and do that about 4 or 5 times. That's a really good way to reset the heart rate, to reset the mind. It brings that heart rate back down real quick. So it's real easy, just 4 seconds. Just do that about 5 or 6 times. And like I said, it'll bring that heart rate down way lower than what you were at. And it allows you to kind of sit there and just reset the mind. So that's a great one. Let's see. Oh, there goes my notepad. Tip number 2. This is something I've learned over the years. No one's taught me this, and you can take it for what it is. It's worked for me, but sometimes when it starts to onset, I'll sit there sometimes when I get really bad attacks, it happens in the weirdest places. Like I've said it before in past videos, when I'm getting my hair cut. And I think that's because I know I'm in a chair and I'm in a place where I can't move, and there's someone focused right on me. But sometimes I'll beat the anxiety attack itself. I won't allow my heart rate to get up to racing. And the way I do that is I just won't breathe through my mouth. I'll keep my mouth closed and just only breathe through the nose. And when you do that, you're not going to suffocate yourself. Your body won't allow you to suffocate yourself. So don't think that. But in doing that, you're not able to take ginormous deep breaths, which is what amplifies and helps keep that heart rate up. Because the first thing we do when we're having a panic or anxiety attack is we become mouth breathers. We start breathing hard through the mouth, and we don't want to do that. So this is something that's worked for me. I'm not saying it'll work for everybody, but for me personally, this has worked really well sometimes. And that's just, I refuse. I'll tell myself I'm not opening my mouth till I get over this. And it's worked every time. Every time, if I just sit there and just focus on breathing through the nose and not breathing through the mouth, my heart rate comes back down and I'm fine. So that's a really good lesson that I've learned just over the years. No expert has told me about that. It's just, it works for me. Might not work for you. Give it a try. Let's see, the next tip. This is important too. You guys know anxiety attacks, panic attacks, they suck. They feel like you're gonna die. Your heart rate, you're sweaty, if you have it, you know what I'm talking about. I can't explain it to people that don't. They don't have any idea. But if you have it, you understand what I'm talking about. But what you need to realize is the absolute worst thing that can happen to you, and this happens to maybe 0.01% of people that suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, is your body will go into survival mode and you'll pass out. And I know that sounds bad, but this happens rarely. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've had severe panic and anxiety attacks, and I have never ever passed out. So keep reminding yourself, keep that in the back of your mind. Say, hey, this might suck for a little bit, a couple seconds, however long yours last, but it cannot hurt me. It absolutely cannot hurt me. Physically, it can make me feel really bad for a little bit, but it's doing no harm. I'm not gonna have a heart attack. I'm not gonna die. It's just something that my mind's doing to my body. I will get through this. And if you continue to do that, it'll get easier every time. Also it's almost like, I hate to sound cliche, but diamonds are built under pressure. If you can not pull yourself out of that situation that causes those anxiety attacks, like for me, sometimes what's big is that a big trigger is being in a big loud social setting, or the gym if I'm working out hard, because the gym's an easy one to have a panic attack if you suffer from it, because you're getting your heart rate up yourself by lifting weights or cardio or whatever you do, and then you add all those people on top of it. It can be very tough for a lot of people, and it's tough for me sometimes. But the more you can put yourself in that situation and breathe it out and learn, and this is what I've been learning myself through all these years, is if I can sit in there and if I can just focus and get through it, I'm always, number one, I'm happy afterwards. So it's kind of like a cookie jar, of accomplishments. I don't know if you've listened to David Goggins, but his explanation of cookie jar is great. Reach in there and just think, hey, I've been through this. I was over here. I had this bad of a panic attack. I made it through. This is nothing. I can do this. The more you can put yourself in that situation, keep yourself in that situation, you start to train the mind to, instead of, hey, we got to get out of here. No, your mind says, hey, we've been here before. We know what this feels like. We know that this can do no harm to us. We're going to stick this out. So, and in doing that, I've learned, that's what I believe has brought my panic attack time down a lot. Like I said, it'd be 30 seconds to a minute long, even longer. And now, 5-10 seconds, and then I snap out of it. So that's just a few tips right there that I've learned over the years of suffering from this. And if you have any tips or ideas or questions or comments, leave a message below. We'd all love to see I'd love to see what you personally do to help overcome through that panic attack and anxiety attack. And I'm sure if you leave a comment below, you might be helping someone else out there. So that's the whole goal of this, is just to help everyone, and hopefully we can all learn from each other. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe. I'm trying to put out more content like this. You know, I don't do this because I'm trying to be a YouTube star. I do it because I know how bad it sucks, and hopefully I can help somebody as well that's going through it. So that's all I got for you. Thank you, and have a good day.